You are watching Sports Effect Live. It's your boy DCash. Welcome back here. We have another exciting week of sports topics here. The weekend was crazy. We had the NFL draft. We got NBA playoffs. The Lakers getting a broom. The Celtics survived. The Warriors look like they're going to move up and the Heat move on. We got NFL draft talk here for you along with Major League Baseball talk. See how the Reds, Indians are doing, and see a couple of the surprises and disappointments along with that. We're also going to talk about Tim Tebow and talk about MJ getting married. This is Sports Effect Live, Season 2. We're back and in full effect, as you can see, turning it up. So come back with us. We'll be right back.
So heavy on the bass, little lighter on the treble. Heavy. So heavy on the bass, little lighter on the treble.
We lit and faded, cause I paid it. Bad everywhere, and that's off the strip that we made it. Yeah, it's all cause we made it. I know it's all cause we made it. See the difference between me and you is I ain't too jaded to say it. And that's real talk, that's real rap. Cut the check, I'm all in. Yeah, I'm ballin', interior look like Spalding. Ain't about money, don't call in. Pay me if y'all in, I'm fly as hell. Trying to tell y'all that I'm raw.
Welcome back here at Sports Effect Live, and we're going to talk a little bit of NBA action as LA Lakers was swept mercilessly by the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs did it in their conventional style of, yeah, we're not going to say anything, but we're just going to demoralize you and take you out quietly. By the end of the Lakers game, there was no VIP people to be found. Jack Nicholson, he had already left. You know, it was just a bad scene. Dwight Howard got kicked out of the game. You know, Kobe Bryant's already out. Steve Nash already out. Metta World Peace already out. And Dwight Howard gets 2 technicals, get kicked out of the game. Bottom line is this. Magic Johnson, he tweets mercilessly on Dwight Howard. You can't get kicked out of the game. That's not what a leader does. Question is, does Magic Johnson even want Dwight Howard with the Lakers? You watch Dwight Howard. He's 25 years old, 26 years old. He's, you know, middle-aged now. He's starting to reach his peak prime, and I don't know if he gets it. You see him, he laughs. I mean, it's nothing wrong with laughing. I'll laugh on the court, like to have fun, but, you know, it's hard to see how a guy who makes that much, he wants $110 million. That's a lot of bread. Is he worth it? I'm not sure. His attitude early in the season was, well, I'm not the man. I don't know if I'm going to be able to play. Then he could play. Then, you know, him and Kobe were beefing some. And it just seems like, I don't know, is he ready to be the next superstar of the Lakers? That remains to be seen. But as far as the Lakers concerned, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. Is Mike D'Antoni's job safe? Who knows? Lakers are in flux right now, and we'll just have to see how that goes. Now, talking with Miami Heat as they cruised on, beat the Milwaukee Bucks. Give a shout out to Norris Cole. Shut down Brandon Jennings, 1 for 7, 3 points. Looked like he's on his way out of Milwaukee. The Heat will be taking on the winner of Chicago and Brooklyn as Nasty Nate did some serious damage to the Brooklyn Nets. 29 points in overtime in the fourth quarter to help lead the Bulls to a victory. They're up 3-1. We'll have to see how that plays out. Looks like the Bulls are going to move on. That would be a great matchup to see Miami, Chicago in the next round. Now, when it comes back, we're going to go back to the West Coast. We got a new star in the making, Stephen Curry, as he has taken his game to another level. It was interesting. I was watching TV yesterday, and Magic Johnson made a great point. He said this is the type of game that Stephen Curry can become a star, and he showed up. It took him a little while. First half, he only took a few shots, but in the third quarter, whoo-wee, he was on fire. And with that being said, he helped lead the Golden State Warriors to a 3-1 lead. Right now, it looks like they're going to go ahead and take that series. Denver had a great regular season, but without the Gallinari, just don't seem to have enough firepower to be able to withstand Golden State. Next, we're going to talk a little bit of stay within the West Coast. We got Houston Rockets, Oklahoma City Thunder. Kevin Durant matches his career high, 41 points without Russell Westbrook, mind you, and gets a friendly bounce at the end of the game 3 against Houston. Thunder up 3-0. That's a huge break for them because, you know, if they lose that game, it's 2-1. And then you got to worry a little bit. You know, Houston has a little bit of momentum. They don't have Russell Westbrook. However, now they're up 3-0. They're feeling very confident. Their backups are playing well for Westbrook. So I look for Oklahoma City to move on. I don't think they'll win Game 4, but I do think in Game 5 they will take it and move on. Going back to the East Coast, as right, Indiana Pacers, Atlanta Hawks has been a very interesting series. Indiana at home pretty much ran roughshod over Atlanta, and Atlanta did the same with Indiana. Game 4 will be pivotal. I'm looking for the Pacers to win that game and then finish them out in 5. When we come back here, we're going to talk a little bit of NFL draft talk. This Sports Effect Live Season 2. Stay tuned.
About the Aaron Smith moment, but the Knicks, very impressive, I thought. The Knicks are starting to remind me of Philadelphia when they had Allen Iverson. And I know Mike Wilson coached under Larry Brown, who coached that Philadelphia team. It's almost like you have.
All right, welcome back here, Sports Effect Live. We're going to go ahead and get into a little bit of NFL talk. The draft was just here, and, you know, now all the hype, you know, McShay, Mel Kiper, you know, he shouldn't be doing this, and it's all over with. And, you know, interesting picks to say the least. Cincinnati Bengals took Tyler Eifert, the big-time tight end from Notre Dame. Interesting they take him. You look at their wide receiver corps, it's really they got a really nice young group with Green, with Sanu. Just a little bit interesting. They had Jermaine Gresham, but he's been injured, so I'm wondering maybe they want to try to imitate New England Patriots, take a couple of really high-quality tight ends and use that as an extra outlet for Andy Dalton. That was an interesting pick. You know, I thought maybe they could have took a running back, which they did in the second round. So I would have to say the Bengals had a pretty decent draft. They were rated a B-. You know, I would say that's about right. They got some other really nice picks, but did they fulfill their needs? I think they could have used a little bit of defensive help. Maybe Andy Dalton needs another receiver he can count on. So that'll be interesting to see how that works out. I think the Bengals they've done a really good job in the last few years of drafting. So I think that with this, they did a good job. So with that, you have to say you give them some props for that. Definitely give them some props. We'll see if it pans out with Eifert. Cleveland took Barkevious Mingo, the name of, it has to be one of the sports names of the year, outside linebacker for LSU. Mingo can go. He is an athletic, big, strong guy. He was dominant at times during the season last year. He will definitely help out the Browns. They need some defensive help. Their defense wasn't bad last year, but they still need a little bit of interior help. So that definitely will help them out this year. Mingo will be an instant impact player for them. The Steelers took Jarvis Jones, an outside linebacker outside linebacker for Georgia, and he's a big-time player as well. You know, I thought maybe they would go after a receiver, you know, considering they lost Mike Wallace, but, you know, they do have Plaxico Burress. And, you know, the Steelers are the Steelers. That, you know, they have to replace James Harrison, who's with the Bengals as well. So you kind of look at that and say, okay, he's probably going to be a replacement for Harrison. And my team, the Dallas Cowboys, we took Travis Frederick, the center from Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken. Now, everybody's wondering, why in the hell did we take a center in our first round when you have the likes of a Geno Smith, the likes of a Honey Badger, you know, there's some guys, of course, I'm going to be, you know, I want the guys I want for my team. But when you look at some of the problems that the Cowboys had last year, it stemmed from pass protection, not having communication on the front line. You know, they had injuries with the running back, so injuries with the court, you know, so I think that, you know, they wanted to shore up the offensive line. Do I think it's a reach? Yes, I do. I think you could have got this guy in the second round. However, you know, you just signed Tony Romo to a huge contract. You want to make sure you keep this guy standing upright. So with that pick, I think that's where they're going to go with that. They feel like they have enough position players, wide receiver, running back, that they'll be okay. So this is a very interesting pick, and we'll have to see how it plays out. I got to give him a C at best. Maybe if he turns out to be an all-pro, then, you know, you ramp it up. Obviously, it'd be worth it. But right now, definitely a reach for the Cowboys. Notable players who were drafted. Geno Smith, who was up and under in the first round, was supposed to be the first quarterback taken, was not, ended up going to the Jets. Now, how does this affect Tim Tebow? Tim Tebow gets cut from the Jets. Geno Smith is now on the team along with McElroy and obviously the starter, Sanchez. So, yep, Tim Tebow has been a great ride. You're going to have to switch positions, homie. Manti Te'o, the biggest name in the college game last year, is taking his talents to San Diego. San Diego drafted him. However, he was supposed to have a parade. In celebration, he was having a parade, but was not at the parade. How crazy is that? He's still up to his antics. He probably had something else to do, but it's just, you know, his name just rings drama. Manti Te'o. It's like drama comes with that name. He's out in San Diego. I think that'll be a good place for him. It's low-key. However, you know, San Diego has been in the playoffs consistently besides last year. So I think, you know, that'll be a good place for him to go and probably succeed. He was a good player last year, impact player, not super athletic, but he knows how to play the game. And I think once eventually he will become a decent player. I don't know if he'll be great, but I definitely think he'll be an impact player. The Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, was drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. He's going to go play with his boy out there. Definitely feel like that was a great place for him. He already has someone out there who can help him go through the ins and outs of the league. He's playing with a fast-rising defensive backfield, and he is a dynamic player, game breaker. I wish the Cowboys would have got him. I think, you know, he probably understands the mistakes that he made, and I look for him to be a all-pro player. I'm calling it. He'll be an all-pro. And last but not least, Matt Barkley, the prestigious college player for USC. Last year would have been a top 10 pick. This year, he goes late rounds to the Philadelphia Eagles, albeit kind of interesting. His coach, one of his rivals, was the guy who drafted him, Chip Kelly, who was at Oregon. Now is at Philly. So I thought that was pretty interesting. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit of Major League Baseball talk in Sports Effect Live Season 2.